What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video I just want to show you guys the top 3 Pokemon to help you push up to master rank. Maybe you are struggling or you don't know what Pokemon to play. I'm hoping that this will help you out. I got top 3 of each category, so attackers, all-rounders, defenders, support and speedsters. And these are the Pokemon that I've picked personally because I like playing them, and they are quite meta per se. But in this current meta with the Mewtwo running rapid like riot, you just can't do much about it. But I'm excluding Mewtwo from both of these because we don't need to talk about them too. Some of these Pokemon I've picked because I never actually play with them. They are in the top 3 win rates, and I think that they might be good to play on master rank. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyways. Let's get straight into it. But before we do that, please leave a like, subscribe down below and ring the bell notifications. Well, it'd be very much appreciated. Thank you for all the support and all you guys liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. That support me very much and I very much appreciate it. But let's just get into the top 3s. Right, we're heading into our first attacker of the top 3 of the attackers, really. So the first one will be Intellion. Now, Intellion is probably the most broken Pokemon apart from Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y. I can't say anything else. Normally, you go for Liquidation. Liquidation is just absolutely insane. It feels like the Glaceon back in the day. It just automatically hit all its bullets in the target. Is just insane. And it crits every single time as well, assuming you got your crit stack up. And it just does insane damage. And at level 13 as well, it shoots out 10 projectiles instead of the 6, I think. I can't remember how much it was. Instead of 8, so that extra 2 crit damage actually matters. You can one shot like the likes of Decidueye, Cinderace, Greninja, like people like that. The Pokemon like that is just one shot after you hit level 13. So you want to get to level 13 as quick as you can. It's just insane, and you unlock this at level 7. It's not too bad, but you can play this in literally anywhere: top lane, bot lane, jungle, anywhere you like. And this is a standard build right here, which is Wise Glass, choice specs, and the spoon as well. Now, if you don't want to use if you want to stack, you can put the other specs on. If you don't want that, you can use Curse Incense. Well, I've tried this personally and I feel like it's actually great on Intellion. You stop people from healing, so you can just do way more damage on it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on Slowbro, as I found out. But yeah, this is Intellion, guys, the first of 3. So let's just get into the second one. On to the second attacker that you can pick to help you push up to master rank, and I choose Pikachu. It's very hard to pick an attack at the moment. Like I said, with the meta currently is, you just get bursted down by a Mewtwo so quickly. So with the Mewtwo, with the mage build, you are a little bit more at range. You're not using Volt Tackle to get closer. You're not using Electric Ball. So you're using Thunder and Thunderbolt. And man, these two are absolutely insane. It does incredible amount of damage. Especially if you put Curse Incense on there as well. You stop people from healing as well while they're in your Thunder as well. You do crazy damage with White Glasses. You can do choice specs if you like. Spoon is kind of a must on most special attackers, because they obviously do 20% of the enemy special defense. So that's good, because most of the time people do play special defense Pokemon, so that does help a little bit. If you don't want to do that, you can use like EAMP as well instead of the Curse Incense. That's probably the build I normally run at the moment. I'll probably change to a Curse Incense because, man, you just get so much value of that as well. It's just insane. People use Focus Band, Potion, get a healer Pokemon. It's just insane. And with Pikachu, you normally play either top or bottom path. Most of the people do play it on top path. That's where the most success is, really. But yeah, it do crazy damage. It's like I said, it's kind of hard to pick an attacker, and Pikachu is one of my favorite Pokemon to play, so I just choose him. On to the next one. So on our third and final attacker pick, I have picked Espeon. Now, like I said, it's very hard to pick between the attackers because they are quite squishy, and Mewtwo just bursts you down like it's nothing. that Pokemon need a nerf. But yeah, Espeon I think is quite good with the Star Power build. Of course, you can always go for the Side Shock, and I use Side Beam instead of Future Sight because I personally like Side Beam. It's like a more of a last hitting tool instead of the Future Sight, which is, you know, a delay explosion, which is not my type of style. I prefer to have like the damage right there and then. I know people do play Star Power with Future Sight, which it works for them, but I still think that Side Beam is probably the better moveset out of these. And with the build, you just go standard double glasses and a spoon. Pretty simple as that. You go top or bot lane. There's nothing really much to say. It evolved at level 4, and that's absolutely insane as well. Most Pokemon evolve at level 5, so that means you get your move, like, you know, 1 level earlier. Just make it even broken. All the evolution are pretty broken, to be fair. With the other Pokemon as well, you can probably use like a Glaceon. It's kind of dropped off a little bit. Greninja is a good choice. What else is there? Cinderace is a decent choice, but it is in the jungle. Decidueye is a really good choice, to be fair. Decidueye is yeah, it's just insane. If you want Decidueye build, I might as well just give you here as well. It's a bonus, so I'll probably use the attack weight, muscle, and flow stone. This is probably be one of the most standard Decidueye build out there. Before you say as well, I'm pretty sure I will put that way. I'll put the emblem page on the screen as well while I'm talking through this. But yeah, Decidueye is great. With the flow stone, working with the spirit shackle, you can move around pretty easier while you're charging up the spirit shackle, and it outranges the Mewtwo, which is absolutely insane. That's what you want, really. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the attackers. Time to get on to the speedsters. Now, this is the first speedster that I've picked on the speed list on the top 3, and it's Leafeon. Man, I just love Leafeon. With his Unite move, it's just insane. You can one-shot pretty much most attackers, maybe some of the all-rounders, but the most important Pokemon that you use it for is Mewtwo. It's just one-shot Mewtwo. That's assuming it does have a Blissey with them or have a shield up, but yeah, I only use this Pokemon just to hunt down Mewtwo, and that's the only reason why I use it. But it's pretty strong as well. Like I said, with the Leaf Braid, when it's charged up, when the passive charged up, you can just put the Leaf Braid down just instantly. Otherwise, you have to wait a couple of seconds before it charges all the way up. Of course, you can use it without being fully charged, but if you use it being charged up, it does a lot more damage. Now, the build attack weight is pretty much a must. Energy amp, I think, is the must because you do more damage with the with your Unite move, and you get your Unite move so quickly. Now, the item that you can change is the Buddy Barrier. You can put Razor Claw to do a lot more damage, but I prefer Buddy Barrier. Just get that extra health after Unite, so I can get out a little bit quicker. So I just don't die, basically. And Leafeon is probably the best speedster that you can probably use right now. You can use it in any lane, top, middle, bottom. At any lane, you get Leaf Blade, like Solid Blade at level 4. And man, it's just absolutely insane. This is basically your last hit tool you play in lane, and you will guarantee yourself pretty much every single last hit if you timed it right. But yeah, so the emblem will be in it'll be shown somewhere around here. Let's just get into the second speedster. For the second speedsters, I pick Zeraora. Now, this is probably the controversial pick because I feel like Zeraora is pretty strong, but no one really uses it right now. But most of the species are very squishy anyway, so going into this meta, you're just gonna die very quickly. But Zeraora got one thing about them, and it's that its discharge do give you a little bit of a shield, and it pulls as well. So if you time it right, these two moves right, you can pull the enemy Pokemon towards your goal, towards your team, and then you just, you know, let your team just KO them. Now it's still very squishy, to be quite honest. It's very hard to pick, like I said, with this meta at the moment being just Mewtwo, and Mewtwo. It's kind of hard to go into any game and, you know, try to survive a Mewtwo. This is the build I use right here. Muscle Band, Weakness Policy, and Razor Claw. Now I have been using something new, which is Curse Bangle, but I think I might bring the Muscle Band back. I just don't know which one I will, replace. Maybe Weakness Policy. This is a little bit more of like a fun build, to be quite honest, because I do enjoy Zero Aura very, very much, and this is probably the build I'll going forward will start using, because I think the Curse Bangle on discharge is absolutely insane, and you pull it towards your team as well. It's just absolutely insane. Normally you would go in the middle path or in the jungle, but you can also play Zero Aura, down bot lane or top lane as well. So this is quite a good, good damage dealer really, because you do quite a fair bit of damage right there. Let's just get into the third pick of the speedsters. So onto the third pick of the speedsters. Now personally, I don't really have much experience with Zoroark. I barely play it. It's a little bit difficult to play. I am trying to learn it, but I want to learn the Snipe Shot Intellion first before I go on to the Zoroark. Now Zoroark, it was very strong. I think last season it got a little bit of a nerf now, but it's still incredibly strong. It's just a little bit hard to use, especially with the Feint Attack, Shadow Claw combo. If you get all your combos off, man, you just one shot pretty much any Pokemon apart from defenders. It's absolutely insane. And I love Zoroark. I wish I can use it more. Alternatively, you can use, Night Slash. That's probably an easier move to use, but it's still relatively got a relatively high skill gap there. So, like I said, I don't really have much experience with it. This is probably, or this was the build for it. Now with the Curse Incense, I don't think the Curse item affect Eos Cookie actually, but yeah, the only reason why you want this on is so you can put all your moves out. If you don't want to do that, you can put Weakness Policy to deal a little bit more damage. If not, then do Energy Amp. I think it's relatively good on Zoroark. You do an incredible amount of damage with your Unite move, and Full Heal is a must on this Pokemon, because you just get stunned left, right, and center, and that will get you out of your combo. But that's all for the speedsters. Let's get into the all-rounders. So up first for our all-rounder, I've picked Urgefield. Now Urgefield has been strong for so long now. It might have got a little nerf, but man, Urgefield is just like, especially Searching Strike. Do you guys remember when this move was like the worst move that you can pick on Urgefield and everyone gone for Wicked Blow? Now this is just insane now, especially pairing this up with the Curse Bangle. After you get level 5, after you clear your first jungle, you just keep diving onto the enemy goal, because they get less healing from the Curse Bangle. Like, you get 30% less healing, and you heal from every single hit, you get your heal from your boosted auto attack as well, which is absolutely insane. And then Liquidation give you a little bit of a shield, which is relatively good, to be fair. So the item on it, of course, we go Attack Weight to do more damage, Razor Claw to proc that crit, and then obviously Curse Bangle just to reduce the enemy healing while giving us a little bit more of attack as well. And of course, Full Heal is a must. If not, I'll probably go for a Chudinchudol. But apart from that, that's really it. That's not much to say about Urgefield. Now with the emblem page, I've used 2 emblem page for him. I switch it whenever I feel like having a bit more fun or want to go serious. So the serious one, I'll use the 6 brown and 6 black. On the less serious one, I go 0 cooldown. That's basically it. I will probably opt in for changing to an energy amp, and then 7 black for brown, I think, and then 2 white. Just have a little bit more fun, because this Pokemon is just fun for me. I rarely use it because I rarely go into the jungle. But yeah, that's our first all-rounder, guys. Let's get into our second one. So on to our second all-rounder. and it's a Zoomreal. Now a Zoomreal have always been pretty strong. The fact that it crits all the time and your move heals you, it's just insane. But now with the Curse Bangle, it's fallen off a little bit, but I still feel like it's still pretty insane. I come up against a Zoomreal before, and it's just absolutely, as long as the Zoomreal get all the early stack and literally run over the early game, nothing can stop an Zoomreal. It's just insane. But yeah, this is the standard build pretty much for Intellion for a Zoomreal. Attack weight, of course, to get them stacks in. Scope lens to deal more crit rate. Not more crit rate, the more damage, more crit damage. And then weakness policy again to more health, more attack, and of course, while you get hit 4 times, it stacks up, 3%, which is actually insane. And then X speed as well, just to get in and out of situation, especially in early on when you're stacking. You might have a Fable. Is it a Fable? It's not a Fable, is it? It's oh, I forgot the name now. Yeah, it went out my head. It'll probably come back to me later on when I go on to the support. But yeah, guys, this is the Zoomreal. You can play it in jungle, but most people do play in the bottom pass because obviously you're using attack weight. You can use it on top pass as well, which it's not too bad. You evolve for level 4, you get your Aqua Tail level 4 as well. You can play Whirlpool, but I think Aqua Tail is just a lot better. Right, let's get into our third all-rounder. Now for my third pick, I didn't want to pick him, but we can't not say that Session is not stupidly strong. It's insane how strong in Session is. It's not at the Mewtwo level because he literally still get destroyed by a Mewtwo, but like it's still a legendary Pokemon. It's still so strong in the game, so I kind of have to pick him. See, with Session it's okay because you can only pick 2 items because it's stuck with Sacred Sword, so it's not too bad. Imagine having a third item on a Session, like a Scope Lens or something that can do more damage. This Pokemon just be completely broken. But with the standard build, guys, you use Sacred Sword and Agility. Play Rough, I did have success with Play Rough earlier on, but it's not as good anymore, and no one uses Metal Claw. And as for item, Wrist Claw, of course, to get that attack damage in, to get more attack crit rate, sorry. And then Muscle Band to do attack speed increase and more attack, basically. And that's pretty much it. And of course, with Session, you kind of have to keep all of your AOS coin or AOS point, however you want to say it, because you use that for your boosted. So if you got no coin, you can't use your boosted. It's not hard to get the points. To be fair, it's relatively easy. So Session is still one of the top Pokemon up there, especially being all rounder as well. And it's just insane. Just imagine having a Mewtwo and this Session in the team. It's just a GG at that point. But that's all for all-rounders. Let's get into the defenders. So the first defender on the list, I have got Lapras. Now, Lapras is probably the best defender on the game at the moment. It's just absolutely insane. Of course, this is not, you can literally use any special item on a Lapras and it will work. Perish Song, of course, is, you can play Water Pulse as well. I remember Water Pulse was the top pick back in the day before it got nerfed. Now Perish Song is just incredibly strong, especially when you hit level 11 where you get your boosted auto attack every single time you use the Perish Song, and when you use the boosted auto attack you heal from it, so it's insane. And then Ice Beam is probably the top pick right now. A lot of people still do play Bubble Beam because it gives you a shield, but I prefer Ice Beam because it frees people when they walk over it, and it do damage over time as well. So that is very good. So this is probably the best build for Lapras right now. With the item, you want to stack. You don't have to stack, obviously. You can use the Wise or Choice, anything really. You can use Shell Bell, Energy Amplifier. One thing I would like to try is the Energy Amplifier because I want to see how many Unite move I can use in one game. It's just absolutely insane how fast you get your Unite move back as well. Curse Instant, of course, with the Perish Song you do an AoE damage. With Ice Beam it's kind of an AoE damage. So you can proc the item off very easy. You can stop people from healing or reduce the healing. And then Spoon, of course, with its being a special attacker, the Spoon is kind of a must. Now you played either top or bot lane. You don't really play defenders in the jungle unless you like Phil Yamus or someone like that to defend the main, and they can actually carry it with a defender. But hey guys, with this is the Lapras. Now let's get on to our second pick of the defenders. Now for our second pick for the defenders, we are going with Umbreon. Now Umbreon is just Umbreon. It's just absolutely insane. We're still using Foul Play even though it's got nerfed, and Snarl even though it's got nerfed as well. Of course you can go for Mean Look and Wish. I think that's the build I use for when I want to have fun and just just run around causing mayhem really. So with the build we got Muscle Band to get that attack speed up, Razor Claw just to get that crit rate up, and Curse Bangles just to reduce the enemy's healing. This is probably the standard build for an Umbreon. Of course you can go stacking, you can do pretty much anything with Umbreon and it will still work fine because of these two moves right here. The more attack that the enemy have, the more damage your Foul Play do, which is absolutely insane. And of course with it being an EV, it's evolved at level 4, so you get this one level earlier, and that's just insane in itself. I don't know what they were thinking with the EVs. With the lane, you either play top or bot lane. Like I said, you don't really play any defenders in the jungle, but of course if you fill your most, you probably play this in the jungle. And also if you got another EV in your team, or you dual queue with another EV, of course you can do a split jungle and you both get level 4 and you both be incredibly strong. It's still really weird with this meta. You kind of play a lot of defenders just get away from the Mewtwo, but man, Umbreon is still very, very strong. Let's just get into our third pick of the defenders. So on the third pick, I've welcomed you, Slowbro, the most insane defender out there, probably the best defender. Just below Lapras, or maybe a little bit above Lapras. I see a lot more Lapras than a Slowbro. But this is probably the single reason why like Mewtwo do not want to come up against the Slowbro, because Unite moves just insane, and the fact that it heals as well with Amnesia and with its passive as well, which, and Slowbro is just very, very difficult to KO right now. Goodra is another good option, but Slowbro is on top because of the Unite move. And of course, if you don't want to use Amnesia, you can use Telekinesis, especially on a Mewtwo, just to stop him from attacking and then pull him towards your team, so you can chop them down. But man, I don't really play Slowbro as much. I prefer Lapras, but I know why a lot of people play Slowbro just to counter the Mewtwo. With the items, I use the special specs. Curse item, it's not a must. Like you can change anything, like I said, with the defenders. For the special attackers, and it'll still do relatively good. Literally you will only pick Slowbro just to counter Mewtwo. You don't use it for anything else really. With the skull, they kind of pair up quite well with the Curse Instant, because it's like kind of AoE damage, right? So the Curse Instant can apply the item on every single enemy Pokemon. If it does hit every single enemy Pokemon. And of course the Spoon is just a standard for special attackers by this point. But yeah guys, that's the defenders. Let's get into the thing that I have no idea about, and that is the support. So our first pick of support, and this was Pokemon that I went out my head, and that's Eldegoss. Eldegoss early game is just absolutely insane. With it boosted auto attack, it slowed down the enemy, so it's like a red buff on the enemy, which is absolutely insane. So anyone want to stack against your lane, they're not going to make it out. That's basically it. So with most supporters, I will be using XP shares. Well, pretty much all supporters should be using XP share really, because you are supporting, you're not trying to, you know, get the kills yourself. With the current build at the moment, they are using Pollen Puff and Cotton Spore. Now these two move. Eldegoss is not much of a healer Pokemon, to be fair. Pollen Puff, now you have to be quite good with your aiming here, and it does heal quite a bit. If you get onto your teammates, it heals them. If you got onto the enemies, it will damage them. If you put it on the floor, it just take a little bit of time and then it's explode after 2 seconds, as it says there. Now Cotton Spore is probably the damage dealing for Eldegoss. So you got a circle around you and then it explode over time after 2 seconds, I think. Yeah, after 2 seconds of whatever time it was, it just explode, do incredible amount of damage, and it reduces their speed right there as well. And with the item, of course, with it being a special attacker, you use the spoon. Rapid fire scarf, like I said, just to get that boosted auto attack out, land that on the enemy and slow them down early game just for your teammate to get the KO. It's very hard to get away from an Eldegoss if you're stacking. I hate it coming up against an Eldegoss when I'm stacking. Unless I've got an X speed, I do not feel comfortable going stacking against an Eldegoss whatsoever. And as for the third item, of course, we are playing XP share because you're supporting, you want all the experience or as much experience to go towards your teammates as much as possible. Get them high level and you run over the game. Let's get into the second supporter. So with the second supporters, I've picked Fable. Now personally, it was kind of hard to pick the support. Of course, you can say Comfy is a support and is probably better than Fable. Personally, I don't really like Comfy because yes, it does heal incredible amount of damage and it does support your team a fair bit, but it just doesn't do enough for me. Because once Comfy connected onto the Pokemon, you literally, you know, 1v2 in the entire game. It just feels like you're playing with one teammate down. I just don't really like Comfy too much. Fable on the other hand, it does heal you and it does stuns the enemy as well. And especially with Gravity, it stopped using their move, so they can only, you know, auto attack on some move. They can use it, but most of the time Gravity does come in handy. And of course, Moonlight heals them, heals your teammate quite a fair bit, especially with this stacking as well, so you get more special attacker for your Moonlight. XP share, of course, that is the standard. And of course, with the energy amp, because of Fable got like a pool of Unite moves that it can use. It's just random, you don't know what it's going to use, to be quite honest. So but yeah, I think Fable is a relatively strong and it's quite bulky as well, to be fair, especially if you got healing on all of the time with the cooldown. And of course, you use like 7 black and 6 green with it, or 7 black and 6 white with the Fable, and it would just do the job. As long as you got your cooldown, your Moonlight will most likely constantly be up, and your Gravity will constantly be up. It'd just be so annoying to come up against a Fable. And now we go on to our last pick of the video and last pick of the supporter, and it's one of the most personally one of the most hated Pokemon apart from Mewtwo out there for me personally. Now for my third supporter, I have picked Huber. Huber is just an incredible supporter. You can take your enemy out of battle and heals them up. They can choose to come back if they want to, or they can just full reset themselves. Because with the Unite move, it let your team engage on the enemy. It literally the entire team will just pop out of the portal. Now it's just insane. I don't have Huber. I don't play Huber. Like I said, I don't play supporters, so I don't really care about getting Huber. To be quite honest with you, with the build, this is probably the build that I would personally use. Of course, that is my personal opinion. People will play different builds in this, different items, different battle items, you know, stuff like that, different emblem pages, everything. Like I said, the support is just one of the roles that I rarely play. I would play like, you know, defenders. I play like damage dealing pretty much. I don't play like the supporting role. But But yeah, that's all of it, guys. There is one special supporter role though that you guys can pick, and that is Blissey. But we're not gonna get into Blissey because I just hate it at the moment, especially with Mewtwo Y being in. You are probably never gonna play Soft Boiled or Egg Bomb. You probably play Helping Hand and Safeguard, and if you do, you're so good at the game with a Mewtwo Y. Like, you are so good. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyways. I hope this will help you pick the Pokemon to help you push up to rank with the build, with the emblem pages. Everything's all in here, and of course this is all in my personal opinion as well. So some of the Pokemon I picked because I feel like it's a very easy Pokemon to use, and it's very good to use right now in the current meta. And I hope they fix Mewtwo Y soon. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, or evening, wherever you're watching this from. And peace.